The boarding announcement crackled through Gate 18C at Louis Armstrong International Airport. Zara Blackwell closed her laptop with a soft click. Her presentation was ready. Tomorrow's tech summit would change everything. She adjusted her charcoal blazer and walked toward the gate agent. First class, seat 1A. Window seat. Privacy. Control. Everything she needed for the 3-hour flight to San Francisco. Welcome aboard, Ms. Blackwell. The gate agent's smile was practiced but genuine. Zara nodded and stepped onto the jet bridge. The flight attendant at the aircraft door barely glanced up from her tablet. Blonde bob. Pressed uniform. Name tag, Jennifer. Good evening, Zara said. Jennifer's eyes swept over her quickly. Too quickly. Then back to the tablet. Zara found her seat. 1A, perfect. She stowed her carry-on overhead and settled in. The leather was soft. The armrest solid. This was where she belonged. She pulled out her phone to review her notes one final time. CyberShield Solutions had come so far. From her tiny Durham apartment to a $480 million acquisition. Tomorrow, she would stand before the most influential tech executives in the country. Excuse me. Zara looked up. Jennifer stood in the aisle, tablet clutched against her chest. Yes, there's been a seating error. I need you to move to 24C. The words hung in the air like smoke. Zara blinked. I'm sorry, what? Another passenger has been assigned to 1A. We need to relocate you temporarily while we sort this out. Zara's grip tightened on her phone. I selected this seat when I booked. 3 weeks ago. Jennifer's smile never wavered. I understand your frustration, but this passenger is Platinum Elite Plus. He specifically requested this seat. And 24C is available immediately. Just until we can resolve the confusion. Zara turned toward the boarding door. A man in an expensive overcoat stepped aboard. Mid-50s. Gray hair. Confident stride. He didn't look at her. Didn't need to. Ma'am. Jennifer's voice had an edge now. Zara stood slowly. She reached for her bag. Her movements were deliberate. Controlled. Of course, she said quietly. She walked toward the back of the plane. Row 24. Middle seat. Between a coughing businessman and a teenager with headphones. The man in the overcoat slid into 1A like he owned it. Jennifer brought him a warm towel without being asked. Zara settled into 24C. The armrests dug into her sides. The overhead light flickered. The businessman coughed again. She pulled out her phone and opened the camera. Her thumb hovered over the record button. Then she pressed it. The video captured everything. The cramped seat. The coughing. The view of first class where the man now reclined comfortably. Zara stopped recording and opened her email. Her fingers moved across the keyboard with surgical precision. Then she paused. A memory surfaced. The acquisition meeting. 3 months ago. The boardroom at Megacorp Industries. Handshakes. Contracts. Champagne. Megacorp Industries. The same company that owned. Her breath caught. If you're enjoying this story, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means the world to us. We're just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video. She opened her laptop and navigated to the booking confirmation. The airline logo stared back at her. Airlink Express, a subsidiary of Megacorp Industries. The irony was suffocating. She had just sold her cybersecurity company to the parent corporation of the airline that was treating her like a second-class citizen. But there was more. She scrolled through her recent emails. Found the one from last Tuesday. The contract amendment. CyberShield Solutions was now the lead contractor for Airlink Express's complete security overhaul. Their passenger data systems. Their booking platform. Their entire digital infrastructure. The businessman beside her coughed again. Wet. Harsh. Zara's jaw tightened. She had built CyberShield from nothing. 12 years of 18-hour days. Countless nights debugging code, while competitors dismissed her as another startup dreamer. She had found security breaches that could have cost companies billions. She had saved Airlink Express from a massive data leak just last year. And now she was sitting in 24C because someone decided she didn't look like she belonged in first class. She continued typing her email. Subject: Incident Report, Flight 2847. Mr. Richmond. Asterisk, I'm writing to inform you of a situation that occurred on Airlink Express Flight 2847 this evening. I was removed from my confirmed first-class seat and relocated to economy to accommodate another passenger. Asterisk. I thought you should know that your airline staff just moved the CEO of CyberShield Solutions, your new cybersecurity contractor, to the back of the plane. We should discuss this when I land. Zara Blackwell, CEO, CyberShield Solutions. Her finger hovered over the send button. The plane began to taxi. Jennifer walked by, checking seat belts. She glanced at Zara without recognition. No acknowledgement. No concern. Zara hit send. The email disappeared into the digital ether. She leaned back in the uncomfortable seat and closed her eyes. In 3 hours, she would land in San Francisco. Her presentation was ready. Her reputation was solid. But something else was about to unfold. She opened her eyes and glanced at the man in 1A. He was reading a magazine, completely oblivious to the chain reaction that was about to begin. Her phone buzzed. A text from her assistant. Asterisk flight tracking shows you're in the air. Everything good. Asterisk. Zara typed back, define good. Another buzz. This time an email notification. The sender made her pulse quicken. d.richmond@megacorp.com. Subject, Incident report, flight 2847. Zara. Asterisk what the hell happened? Call me the second you land. Asterisk. Dave. The response had come within minutes. On a Saturday night. This was bigger than a seat assignment. Zara put her phone away and stared out the small window. The lights of New Orleans grew smaller below them. In first class, the man in the overcoat ordered another whiskey. Jennifer delivered it with a smile. She had no idea that her career was about to come to an end. None of them did. 30,000 feet above Texas, Dave Richmond's phone wouldn't stop ringing. The Megacorp CEO stood in his Phoenix office, still in his golf clothes from the interrupted Saturday round. The city lights twinkled below through floor-to-ceiling windows. Sir? His assistant's voice crackled through the speakerphone. Airlink's operations manager is on line 3. Says it's urgent. Dave's stomach dropped. He'd been in corporate crisis management for 20 years. He knew the sound of panic. Put him through. Mr. Richmond? The voice was shaking. We have a problem. A big one. I'm listening. The passenger from seat 1A on flight 2847. Zara Blackwell. Sir, we just realized who she is. Dave closed his eyes. I already know who she is. No, sir. You don't understand. She's not just the CEO of CyberShield. Silence stretched across the line. She's the keynote speaker at tomorrow's Innovation Summit. The opening act. Every tech journalist in the country will be in that room. Dave's blood turned to ice. There's more, sir. She's been recording everything. Her assistant just posted something on social media. No details yet, but it's spreading. The phone slipped in Dave's sweaty palm. Get me a full manifest of that flight. Every crew member. Every passenger. I want security footage from the gate. I want everything. Already in progress, sir. But there's something else. Dave waited. The flight attendant who moved her. Jennifer Walsh. She's been written up before. Twice. Similar incidents. What kind of incidents? Passenger complaints. Discrimination allegations. Both settled quietly. Dave's jaw clenched. Why is she still employed? Her uncle is Regional Director Thompson. He's been protecting her. The room spun. A cover-up. A pattern. A liability that was about to explode across every news outlet in America. Sir? Are you there? I'm here. Ground that plane the second it lands. I want Zara Blackwell escorted to the executive lounge. Not security. Send corporate relations. Make it look like a courtesy, not damage control. Yes, sir. What about the crew? Suspended. All of them. Effective immediately. Dave hung up and immediately dialed another number. Crisis management. This is Sandra. Sandra, it's Dave Richmond. I need a full media response team deployed to San Francisco International. Now. What's the situation? Discrimination incident on one of our flights. High-profile passenger. This could destroy us. Sandra's voice sharpened. How high-profile? She's speaking at the biggest tech conference of the year. Tomorrow morning. First thing. Jesus. Okay, I'm mobilizing the team. But Dave, if this goes viral before we can control it. It won't. But even as he said it, Dave's other phone buzzed. A text from his media monitoring service. Alert. CyberShield CEO trending on Twitter. Vague discrimination allegations. Story developing. Dave's hands shook as he opened his laptop. The first tweet was from Zara's assistant. When you build a company for 12 years, sell it for $500 million, and still get treated like you don't belong. Some things never change. Hashtag business as usual. No airline mentioned. No specific details. But the replies were already connecting dots. Is this about Airlink Express? Didn't Megacorp just buy her company? This sounds like another airline discrimination case. Dave's phone rang again. This time it was the board chairman. Dave, what the hell is happening? My phone's been ringing for 10 minutes. We have a situation, sir. But it's contained. Contained? My daughter just texted me a screenshot of Twitter. There are already 300 retweets. Dave pulled up the platform. The number had doubled. Sir, I'm handling it personally. I'm flying to San Francisco tonight. You better be. Because if this turns into another United Airlines situation, we're all finished. The line went dead. Dave stared at his reflection in the office window. 26 years at Megacorp, 12 as CEO. He'd weathered data breaches, union strikes, regulatory investigations. But this felt different. His phone buzzed with another alert. A major tech blogger had picked up the story. Breaking. Source confirms CyberShield CEO Zara Blackwell involved in airline discrimination incident. Details emerging. Dave's chest tightened. Then his phone rang with the call that changed everything. Mr. Richmond? This is Captain Torres from Flight 2847. Yes. Sir, I need to report something. Ms. Blackwell asked to speak with me during the flight. She was calm, professional, but she said something that's been bothering me. What did she say? She asked if the same thing would have happened if she looked different. Then she said, "Save it for your HR file." Dave's mouth went dry. Captain, did she seem angry? Vindictive? No, sir. That's what worried me. She seemed strategic. The word hung in the air like a death sentence. Strategic. Dave ended the call and immediately opened Zara's company profile. He scrolled through her biography, her achievements, her board positions. Then he found it. A small line at the bottom of her LinkedIn profile. Advisory board member, Corporate Accountability Initiative. Dave's vision blurred. The Corporate Accountability Initiative. The same organization that had taken down 3 major corporations in the past 2 years. They didn't just file lawsuits. They orchestrated systematic campaigns that destroyed reputations, triggered investigations, and cost executives their careers. Zara Blackwell wasn't just a victim. She was a professional corporate assassin. And Dave had just handed her the perfect weapon. His phone buzzed one final time. A message from an unknown number. Mr. Richmond, this is Zara Blackwell. I land in 47 minutes. I suggest you be there. We have much to discuss. Dave stared at the message, his hands trembling. In less than an hour, his company's fate would be decided by a woman sitting in seat 24C, typing on her phone while a man in an overcoat enjoyed the whiskey that should have been hers. But the real revelation was just beginning, because as Dave would soon discover, tonight's incident wasn't random. It was exactly what Zara Blackwell had been waiting for. If you're enjoying this story, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means the world to us. We're just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video. The wheels of Flight 2847 touched down at San Francisco International with a screech that echoed through the cabin. Zara remained seated as passengers shuffled toward the exits. No hurry, no anxiety. She had all the time in the world. The man from seat 1A walked past without a glance. His overcoat swayed as he disappeared into the jet bridge. He still had no idea what he'd been part of. Jennifer, the flight attendant, stood near the exit, her smile forced and brittle. Her hands shook slightly as she said goodbye to passengers. She knew. Zara gathered her belongings slowly, methodically. When she reached the aircraft door, Jennifer's eyes found hers. "Ms. Blackwell," Jennifer whispered, "I hope you understand it was just." "Save it," Zara said quietly. She stepped into the jet bridge and immediately spotted them. 2 men in expensive suits standing near Gate 12. Corporate security, but not the intimidating kind. The desperate kind. "Ms. Blackwell?" The taller one approached with practiced deference. "I'm James Chun, Megacorp Corporate Relations. Mr. Richmond asked us to escort you to our executive lounge." Zara nodded. "Lead the way." They walked through the terminal in silence. Other passengers moved around them like water around stones. Normal people with normal problems. Zara's phone buzzed constantly. Her assistant, her publicist, 3 different journalists who'd somehow gotten her number. She ignored them all. The executive lounge was pristine. Leather chairs, mahogany tables, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the runway. And there, standing with his back to the door, was Dave Richmond. He turned when she entered. Tall, silver-haired, the kind of man who commanded rooms without trying. Tonight, he looked like he was drowning. "Zara," he said, extending his hand. "Thank you for coming." She didn't take it. Dave's hand dropped. "Please sit. Can I get you anything? Coffee? Water?" "I'm fine standing." The corporate relations men shuffled toward the exit. Dave waved them away with a subtle gesture. Now they were alone. "I want to start with an apology," Dave began. "What happened tonight was completely unacceptable. It doesn't represent our values or your values." Zara's voice was silk over steel. "Let me tell you what I learned about your values tonight." She pulled out her phone and scrolled through her notes. Jennifer Walsh. 3 discrimination complaints in 2 years. All settled quietly. All swept under the rug. Her uncle is Regional Director Thompson, isn't he? Dave's face went white. "You want to know what really happened tonight? Your airline didn't just discriminate against me. It exposed a pattern, a system, a culture that protects the wrong people and silences the right ones." "Zara, I had no idea about Jennifer's history." "Of course you didn't. Plausible deniability is your specialty." She moved closer. Her voice never rose above a conversational tone, but each word hit like a hammer. "The Corporate Accountability Initiative has been tracking Airlink Express for 18 months. Passenger complaints, employment discrimination, federal contract violations. We've been building a case." Dave's legs nearly gave out. "You've been investigating us?" "I've been documenting you." The room seemed to shrink around them. Tonight was supposed to be simple. A flight to San Francisco for a speaking engagement. But then Jennifer made her choice. "And you made yours possible by creating a system that protects people like her." Zara walked to the window. The runway stretched into darkness. "Do you know what I'm speaking about tomorrow, Dave?" He shook his head. "Corporate accountability in the digital age. How technology can expose systemic discrimination. How social media can amplify voices that were previously silenced." She turned back to face him. "Tonight's incident will be my opening story. Every tech executive in that room will hear exactly what happened. They'll see the video. They'll understand the pattern." Dave sank into a chair. "What do you want?" "I want you to listen very carefully." Zara sat across from him. Her posture was relaxed, but her eyes were laser-focused. "You're going to fire Jennifer Walsh and Director Thompson. Tonight, you're going to review every discrimination complaint from the past 5 years and reopen the ones that were settled quietly. You're going to implement mandatory bias training for all customer-facing staff." "Okay. Yes. We can do that. I'm not finished." Dave's throat tightened. "You're going to establish a passenger advocacy board with real power. Not a PR committee. A body that can investigate complaints and recommend terminations. I'll chair it for the first year." "Zara, that's non negotiable." She leaned forward. "And finally, you're going to fund a $50 million scholarship program for underrepresented students in cybersecurity. The Zara Blackwell Foundation will administer it." Dave's mouth opened and closed like a fish. "If you refuse, tomorrow's headlines will be very different. Megacorp CEO refuses to address systemic discrimination. The video of tonight's incident will go viral. The Corporate Accountability Initiative will release our full investigation. Your stock price will crater. And if I agree, my speech tomorrow will focus on corporate leadership and positive change. I'll mention how Megacorp is pioneering new accountability measures. The video stays private. The investigation gets filed as a success story." Dave stared at her. "You planned this." "I plan to do my job. Jennifer Walsh chose to hand me the perfect case study. You could have spoken up on the plane, caused a scene, made them put you back in first class." Zara smiled for the first time all evening. "Dave, I didn't want the seat back. I wanted to see how far you'd let it go, how deep the rot ran, how your system responded when it thought no one important was watching." She stood and smoothed her blazer. "You have until my speech tomorrow at 9 a.m. to make the announcement. The press release should mention the new accountability measures and the scholarship fund. I'll review it before you send it." She walked toward the door, then paused. "Oh, and Dave, that passenger in seat 1A, the one who took my place? Find out who he is. Because if he has any connection to Megacorp, this conversation just became very different." She left Dave Richmond alone in the executive lounge, staring out at the dark runway. 2 weeks later, Zara stood at the podium of the Megacorp Leadership Summit. 400 executives filled the auditorium. The applause was thunderous. She told them about the night she was moved from seat 1A, about dignity and strategic response, about the power of patience and the importance of documentation. But she didn't mention the real lesson. Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting your seat back. Sometimes it's building something better from the place where they put you. Her phone buzzed during the standing ovation. A message from another passenger from that night. "Thank you for showing us how to stand up without standing down." Zara smiled and put the phone away. The revolution had begun with a middle seat and a recording. Now it was spreading faster than anyone could stop.